Hello, welcome to the lesson 1-6 notes. You should find this on page 15 in your notes packet in your binder. Hopefully my tools here will be working a little bit better than they were in the last video. Alright, so what is this about? Our target for this is I can transform formulas and literal equations. Alright, so formulas you probably used before. Literal equations, we'll talk about what that is when we get to the next page. So, here is a formula. Use the formula F equals 9 over 5C plus 32 to answer the following. Find the Celsius temperature. So, what I like to do is rewrite the original formula. Essentially, this is like doing the check when we would solve an equation. You rewrite the original equation, and then they give you the Fahrenheit temperature as 86. So you're going to plug in 86 for F. And then we're going to solve for C. So to solve for C, my first step would be to subtract 32 from both sides. And this zeroes out, and I get 54 over here. Now, to get rid of the 9/5, you could divide both sides by 9/5, but dividing by 9/5 is the same as multiplying by 5/9. And when you multiply both sides by 5/9, over here they cancel out and you're left with C. You got the variable all by itself. On the other side you get 30. So the answer for this is when the temperature is 86 degrees Fahrenheit, it's 30 degrees Celsius. Alright? Okay, the next problem we have is a volume formula. So we're going to find the height of a cone. So this is the formula for volume of a cone. To the nearest whole centimeter, if the volume is 678.6 cubic centimeters and the radius is 6 centimeters. So again, start with the formula. V equals 1/3 times pi times r squared times h. Now some of you might be saying, well, I don't need to put those dots in. I do that because I want to remember or remind myself to do the inverse operation. Alright, so now I plug in my values. So the volume is going to replace V. So I get 678.6 on this side. I still have 1/3. Pi is still pi. I'm trying to find r, I have r. It's 6. So 6 squared. I'm trying to find h. So h stays the variable. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is take care of the exponent. So everything else stays the same. Equals 1/3 pi times 36 times h. Now if you want to do some combining over here, you can combine 1/3 and 36 and you get 12. And actually, let's go ahead and do that. I did it originally a different way. Well, how about instead of doing that, I'm just going to divide both sides by 36. This is the original way I did it. When I divide by 36, the 36's cancel, and I get 18.85, some more room, equals 1/3 pi times h. Now to get rid of 1/3, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. Change up the color here. And that gets rid of 1/3. So now I have pi times h. I'm almost there. And on this side of my formula, I have 56.55. So now I divide both sides by pi. So the pi's cancel and I isolate h. And you get h equals, and it's 18.0004, and it keeps on going, so I'll do ... Now, in the original problem it says round to the nearest whole centimeter, so the height of the cone is about 18 centimeters. Alright, simple enough. Hopefully this wasn't too difficult for you. If you had trouble, you can always pause it here or go back and rewatch that. But we're going to move on to the next page, so if you need to copy this down, pause the video. And here we go. Sorry about that. Next page, page 16. Literal equations. So, a literal equation is an equation involving two or more variables. So that's the key here. Formulas are special types of literal equations. To transform a literal equation, you solve for one variable in terms of the others. The term I'm going to be using a lot is isolate. And we'll talk about what isolate means in math. This is helpful when you need to use a formula numerous times. Okay, so the first problem we have is AB plus C equals D. And we want to solve it in terms of C. In other words, we want to isolate C or get C by itself. So what I'm going to do is, I have a plus sign here. So the inverse operation is, I'm in trouble. The inverse operation for this is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract A, B. Sorry about the sloppy handwriting. Subtract AB from both sides. Now, we don't have like terms here. So when I subtract AB from D, it is not, I can't combine it. So all I can do is write D minus AB. But over here they zero out or cancel out. So that's, on the one side of the equation, it gets nice and neat. We're just left with the variable. On the other side, we have D minus AB. So there is your answer. Okay, the next one we have to solve is, we'll go over to the right here. Solve 3x minus 4y equals 15 in terms of x. So again, rewrite your original equation, 3x minus 4y equals 15. And if you hear a little clicking sound, I apologize. That's the mouse, because again, I'm having some issues with the pen tool here. Alright, so I want to get x by itself. First step, let's do the inverse operation here and add y to both sides. 4y, I should say. Sorry. Add 4y to both sides. Now, this is not 15y, so I can't combine these. So I'm just going to write it as is. So I have 3x equals 15 plus 4y. Now, the last step to get x by itself, divide by 3. Now, when I do that, I get x by itself. Over here, one way I can write it is exactly as you see it, 15 plus 4y over 3. Another way would be to split these into fractions. So 15 over 3 is 5, and then plus 4y over 3, or 4/3 y, will also work. Okay, the next one. N over 3 equals m plus 10. In terms of n, so I want to get n by itself. So to do that, on both sides I'm going to multiply by 3 times 3. Now you could leave this the way that it is with the 3 outside of the parentheses, but I think it makes sense to go ahead and distribute, and you get 3m plus 30. And there's your answer for this one. And then the last one, solve negative 5x y, z equal to 9. And we want to get x by itself. So x is going to stay here. To do that, I need to divide both sides by negative 5, y, and z. All these will cancel out, and I'm left with x. On this side of the equation, I'm going to have 9 as the numerator, and my denominator will be negative 5yz. This is going to take some practice. This might be one of the more challenging concepts to learn in this topic. So if you're having trouble, make sure you come and see me. Now the last thing on this page talks about filling in this table. The volume of a prison is V equals length times width times height. Solve the formula in terms of H. Complete the table for height for a rectangular prism with the given volumes. So you're going to find the height for all of these. If you figure them out, well, I'll give you a hint. The answer for the first one is 9 inches. I'm not going to tell you how I got it. I'm going to see if you can figure it out, and then answer the next 3, and then we'll talk about it in math. All right, good luck. If you need help, make sure you come and see me, and we'll see you in math.